All right, we will reconvene the meeting at 6:32. And can I have a roll call, please?
Barbara James,
Here.
Michael Adams,
Here.
Steve Buffalo,
Here.
Laura Hartman,
Here.
Lou Stoltz is absent.
Thank you. And we'll move on to the public comment announcement, which I will direct your attention to the first page of the board agenda. By executive order on March 12th, the governor relaxed parts of the Brown Act. In part, that enables us to conduct our meetings in this manner via Zoom. Anyone wishing to view this meeting may do so at our website listed on the agenda. The meeting is recorded and available as a public record upon request. People commenting in person are asked to wear a face covering and adhere to social distancing protocols. People wishing to share a comment may Zoom and participate in that way. They are to email Ms. McClure no later than 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Let's move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Buffalo?
Face the flag, place your hand over your heart, and begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a alert break here? Just a little one. Okay, very good. Item 9.1, agenda approval. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. Open forum on non-agenda items. We do not have any comments for non-agenda items. So we will move on to item 11.1, and we will administer the oath of office to our newly elected student trustee. President Knudsen?
I'm going to do this from here so he can get that mic, so we don't need the portable, all right? Samuel, if you would stand right there at that mic and turn it on. There's a little button right in the center. Okay, we're doing this so you can see my mouth.
Okay.
Okay? So if you raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Samuel Tangzu,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or
without
purpose-
any
Go ahead.
without any mental reservation
Or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and I will well and faithfully discharge
and I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Now, normally I would be shaking your hand, but welcome, and you can take your seat.
Welcome aboard. All right, outstanding. Again, welcome, Samuel. And we'll move on to section 11.2, presentation of constitutional essay contest winners. And I think we hand this over to John Vento.
So thank you so much, members of the board. It's great to see you, Ed, Patty. And I just wanted to say thank you, Laura, for your service. I didn't see you on the ballot, but appreciate your time on there. I was looking forward to voting for you, and I noticed that Lou's not on there, so I'm just grateful for his time and service. And so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about this. This constitutional essay was Ed's idea when he first came here, and we've been running it for about 7 years. And In the past, we haven't really had great participation. When I say this, maybe get 5, 6 essays, 7 essays. But this year we got a record 19 students submitted essays. And it was real nice. We had 7 faculty members read them and score them. And so I wanted to introduce you to these 3 outstanding students. Their scores were very close, so it really wasn't anyone separate. But I wanted to introduce you to Caden Broadwater. Caden is a mechanical engineer. He's planning to apply to Cal State Long Beach and CSUN and UCSB. And he ultimately wants to work for Disney's Imagineering team. He loves going to Disneyland, hanging with his family and friends at Disneyland. And he told me I could say this. He is a proud redhead and has visited 20 states. So he told me I could say that. I want to let you all know that, okay? So Caden came in 3rd place. 2nd place winner was Bradley Miller. And Bradley is a kinesiology and arts major. He's considering looking at Cal Arts and maybe even Ringling College of Art. He's interested in joining the military. Specifically, he wants to be a Navy SEAL. And he has a passion for animation. Bradley also enjoys woodworking, exercise, drawing, and Bradley is set to receive his Eagle Scout Award this December. So this is a pretty cool fate for him, and Bradley came in 2nd place. And our 1st place winner is Noah DeHay. And Noah is an econ major, and he plans to apply to several UC schools. He wants to pursue a variety of different fields. Right now, he's looking at being a financial engineer or an economic professor or a corporate attorney. He lived in Santa Barbara for 3 years. And likes to read, run, play piano, and listen to music. And ultimately, Noah wants to write a book. So Noah is the 1st place winner, Bradley is the 2nd place winner, and Caden is the 3rd place winner. And this is a real fun thing, and I'm really grateful for Ed Knudsen for coming up with this idea. We had a really good turnout this year, and it may have had to do with the way we extended the deadline. So we're going to definitely work on that for next year. But members of the board, I give you Noah, Bradley, and Caden Broadwater.
Congratulations.
John, I know that we have arranged for cash prizes for these students, and I will have a check for the #1 place finisher in my office. He can just stop in and see Patty or give us a call and we'll make arrangements. And Dr. Zimmerman will have the cash for the 2nd and 3rd place.
Yes, definitely. Will do. Again, I just wanted to thank Patty for all the help that she did to help coordinate this.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to 11.3, and that is presentation on sabbatical leave by Christine McNullo.
Thank you so much, and I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you to the board and everyone for this amazing opportunity. So my sabbatical research spanned into 3 categories, which covered my roles at the college. One was art historical research, one was pedagogical. I was doing preparations for our first printmaking class, and the other was a studio art project. So I'm going to start with the one that really kind of took off the most during the sabbatical, and that was my art historical research. So I've been for about half a decade now researching images of the adolescent in late 19th century, early 20th century American prints and art. And I thought this would manifest in one kind of complete article, but over the sabbatical, it branched really into 3 different bodies of research. So one was looking at how the adolescent appeared in the fine arts in progressive era America, especially how it became a touchstone for Americans thinking about how they are meant to develop as citizens, especially into American manhood, and also how it was a point of worry and contention for where the country was going. Next slide. or I'm going to assume that advanced. There we go. Okay, now I see it. The other body of research was on college humor magazines, which developed in the late 19th century. And again, I thought this would be kind of a small body of research, but it ended up being this pretty fascinating exploration of a first person point of view from college students of what it was like growing up in progressive era America, and especially the pressures they were under to continue upholding Victorian ideals that they had by 1910, 1920, had really come to disagree with. Next slide. And then this branched into what's the largest body of research, which is actually on Norman Rockwell, and looking at how he intersected with all these ideas, thinking about adolescence and also new forms of comic strips and visual comedy coming out of those college humor magazines. I looked into Norman Rockwell's cartoons that he made when he was a Navy seaman in World War I. Next slide. And then especially how they played into one of his strangest characters that he created, which is Willie Gillis, this World War II soldier who had a very adolescent kind of attitude and physique, and really in these images almost appears too young to be going off to war. So my research was into why this was such a popular and fascinating character during World War II. Next slide. So I'll be talking about the research I did preparing for a printmaking class at AVC. A lot of this was technical material research. So I wrote and last year had approved our first printmaking class. And one of the challenges of teaching this at AVC is very often printmaking courses have their very own dedicated room and lab. And this would be taught in a multi-purpose and fairly small room, and I think can be successfully taught, but with some creative approach to technique. Next slide. So a lot of this was experimenting with different materials. I'll just highlight some of the discoveries that I was most excited about. One was I do want to teach photomechanical processes, but often this needs a lot of chemicals and space to do. But I found a fairly simple method and direct method of doing it with monoprinting. And it created these kind of interesting sort of foggy images that you could then collage and experiment with. Next slide. I also had never practiced silk screening before. So this is something I worked on during my sabbatical. Again, I thought this would be something that primarily you would do with photographs, and then realized you could actually do these really beautiful freehand drawing techniques with silk screening, which are much more direct and again, require much less dangerous chemicals to deal with. So much better suited for our space. Next slide. And one last printmaking project I want to share is a digital project, which again is something I was a little confused on how to address in this class, but I experimented with sun prints, which is a very simple and direct process. You might have done it yourself, or your children might have done it in grade school. But brought into the digital laboratory, they can be manipulated and turned into these really complex images. So it's a nice unification between a very simple, direct, early process and a much more contemporary process. Next slide. And then last project I want to talk about is my studio art project, which was to think about how to explore stories of childhood and juvenile experience through the medium of cartoons and graphic novels. So about half my sabbatical was doing research into just bodily movements and gestures of children, thinking about how they communicated, thinking about how they kind of stretched and responded to each other. Next slide. Some of these were very quick images. Some of these were a little bit more extended images, but all trying to understand essentially how to think about a child's body as a character. Next slide. The next step was going into storyboards and thinking about how to create a story. Next slide. Now, when COVID hit, I changed directions on that a little bit because it was such a difficult thing to deal with, and I was in a different situation where I had less access to these models, and it also seemed an important thing to start to think about. So I embarked on a series of charcoal drawings, exploring just the environment of homeschooling. Next slide. And then finally, last image here is I started taking those storyboarded images and exploring these experiences of childhood that in many ways they're very typical. They're the kind of things that children go through where you kind of roll your eyes or say, well, they'll get over it, but trying to think of it from the child's perspective where they experience it a very different way, where it's very dramatic. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, on to 12.1, and this is report of closed session action. We had two items, 4.1 and 4.2, and there was no report on either. So item 13 is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
Second.
Now, Samuel, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the way I usually do this is before we vote, I will ask for advice, and that's your opportunity to agree or disagree. With most items, I'll also call for discussion, but with the consent agenda, we generally don't discuss it. These are just matters of order that we approve without discussion. So at this point, we have a motion and a second, and so I will say advice.
No advice at this time. I approve.
Approved. Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the consent agenda is approved. And so we'll move on to item 14.1. We will now conduct a public hearing to receive input on the initial proposal of the Antelope Valley Community College District to the Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers for negotiations related to 2021-2022. Is there any discussion on this item? Okay, hearing none, and we have received none for 14.1. I will close the public hearing for 14.1. And we will move on to 14.2. We will now conduct a public hearing to receive input on the initial proposal of the Antelope Valley Community College District to the Antelope Valley College Federation of Classified Employees for negotiations related to 2021-2022. Is there any discussion on this item? And I believe we have Pamela Ford to comment on this item.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to comment at this time or not, but I just wanted to say that this proposal is something that we may consider provided the technical corrections are made. And our legal counsel has already reached out to your legal counsel, Ms. Cook, to work toward getting those corrections made. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Do you want to comment, Mr. President, on just the general logistics of this?
So that the public knows, there's a requirement in statute that we make the public aware of any negotiated items that we are proposing to the classified bargaining units, and that has to be sunshined and put in front of the public before we enter into any negotiations. These public hearings tonight and the action items are simply to begin that process. Nobody has agreed to anything other than we are proposing an initial negotiations for the two collective bargaining units for the coming year. And we're just making the public aware of that.
So during that process, there obviously will be time to address what Ms. Ford brought up.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So with that said, we'll close out the public hearings and we'll move on to item 15.1, action items. Approval of proposal between Antelope Valley Community College and Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers to maintain same terms and conditions in the collective bargaining agreement for the period of July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. 15.2, approval of proposal between Antelope Valley Community College and Antelope Valley College Federation of Classified Employees to maintain the same terms and conditions in the collective bargaining agreement for the period of July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. 15.3, approval of agreement between Wesley Health Centers, JWCH Institute for Dental Services for the Antelope Valley College students.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.4, approval to dispose of additional surplus or obsolete supplies and equipment.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
I thought this was great. Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.5, approval of destruction of documents, Class 2 optional and Class 3 disposable.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.6, approval of 2021 Library Services Platform Program.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.7, approval of renewal of EduNav Master Agreement, Degree Audit and Educational Planning Tool for 3 years.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.8, approval of academic and agronomic data collection agreement between Apotheo LLC and the Antelope Valley Community College.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.9, approval to utilize Golden Star Technology piggyback agreement through Los Angeles Community College District.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.10, approval to extend the use of the Arvin Union School District Cooperative Agreement with Sierra School Equipment Company through November 12th, 2021.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 15.11, approval of agreement between Butte Glen Community College to add additional 10 GB Scenic circuit providing network services to existing Scenic routers from Antelope Valley College to Calren Cloud Site.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.12, approval of correction to October 12th, 2020 board communication, agenda item number 14.20, approval to utilize the Foundation for California Community Colleges FCCC services agreement with Career America, LLC, doing business as Ocelot, through April 14th, 2023.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.13, approval of change order for Foxfield Improvements Project 17-009.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President, I have a question
Uh-huh.
for President Knudsen. In looking at these change orders, I noticed that we're getting some rather large monetary amounts of change orders for the Foxfield construction. And I just wondered, recently we had one over $100,000. And and tonight it's about 53,000 something. I'm just wondering if you could just kind of maybe give me a little bit of background as to why we're seeing such an increase for the Fox Field.
The scope of work has changed in some of those areas and within the major contract, but the scope of work changed. For instance, to meet FCC and FAA requirements in the main hangar, we had to adjust lighting and workstations and ventilation in the main hangar, the 10,000 square foot hangar. We also had to have pull in another main, not only electric, but also water for the fire system in the back. And these were noticed after the work had been almost completed. And so we could occupy. So that was the reason for that.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. 15.14, approval to file notice of completion and resolution of acceptance on the Fox Field Improvement Project 17-009.
So move.
Any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 15.15, approval of change order for Sage Hall 17-031 with measure AV funds.
So move. Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. 15.16, approval of change orders for the Discovery Lab project 17-039 with measure AV funds.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 15.17, approval of change orders for campus security project 17-040 with measure AV funds.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. 15.18, approval of project assignment amendment revision number 4 to Gensler Campus Security Project 17-040 with measure AV funds.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. 15.19, approval of reimbursement agreement with T-Mobile West Tower LLC, T-Mobile Cell Tower 21-015 with measure AV funds.
So move. Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. 15.20, approval of PAA revision number 2, Kruger Benson Ziemer Architects Incorporated, Palmdale Technology Facility Project.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advice?
Approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that concludes our action items. Item 16, informational items, are there for the board's review. Are there any questions or comments on any items from item 16? Okay, so we'll move on to item 17, reports and announcements. And I'm looking for my list, which I'll find in a second. Okay, so normally we have all of our constituent reports, but in this alternative format, we only have a few, I believe. So nothing from the Academic Senate, but 17.2 Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers. Dr. Bird?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right, good evening, President Knudsen and members of the Board of Trustees. We note that the Vice President of Academic Affairs search continues with open forums for each candidate this week, as well as a smaller forum for the Academic Senate Union and the CMS leadership. We do very much appreciate that the college is moving to fill this position, although we do wish we'd received earlier notice of these forums. We received notice of the smaller forums on the evening of last Thursday, November 5th, and notice of the open forums on Friday, November 6th. And frankly, as many of us teach throughout the day, it's hard to arrange our schedules so that we can attend these events or, coordinate with our various organizations and colleagues to see if anybody can attend these, since we're all in and out of class throughout the day. And so we very much appreciate that these forums were set up, although it would have been appreciated if we were given a heads up of the planned schedule a little bit sooner. And I think that would have aided in helping faculty feel like valued contributors to the search process and also in showing transparency of the process. That said, we do appreciate that these forums are running at this time. As some of you already know, I will not be able to attend the December 2020 meeting of the board. So I would like to extend my thanks to trustees Herman and Stoltz, and I see that trustee Stoltz is absent tonight. But I'd like to extend my thanks to them for their service and wish them well in their future endeavors. And I also had something I'd like to say to trustee Stoltz, which I've wanted to say for some time, which is that several years ago, I had his granddaughter in my class, and she was an absolute pleasure to work with. Other than that, thank you and best wishes for the rest of 2020.
Thank you. All right, 17.3, Antelope Valley College Federation of Classified Employees, Ms. Ford.
No report.
Okay, very good, thank you. And no report from confidential management. 17.5, the Associated Student Organization, Cameron Zapeta.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to start off by congratulating Samuel Zhu on winning the election for student trustee, and I want to thank everyone else who ran for that position. I also wanted to congratulate the Constitution essay finalists. I want to remind students right now that as the semester is winding down, next semester's class schedule is up, and so is our registration appointments. So please keep that in mind as we are continuing to move forward. I also wanted to say that the SSCCC Region 6 meeting will be happening this week. And it looks like we are going to be getting our Legislative Affairs Committee up and running, and I have some promise in that. I also want to say that we are taking what we learned as a ASO this semester, and we're starting to take what we learned and plan for next semester and see what we can do better. I also wanted to say congratulations to the finalists for the Vice President of Academic Affairs. I'm excited to see everyone's interviews, and I'm excited to see who this colleges choose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How about Office of the Superintendent President, Mr. Knudsen?
Thank you. Just a couple of quick things that you may not be aware of. I serve on the statewide CCC2A board, which is the board that governs community college athletics. We met last Friday, and we're moving forward on protocols for spring competitions and where that might be occurring, recognizing that those decisions are local decisions by local boards and local offices of public health. But we are framing the protocols by which that competition can occur. I also serve on the statewide CEO task force with the League for the Student-Centered Funding Formula, which I always struggle to say. However, we are working through some of the issues that we're facing in the remainder of this year and going into next year, and I will be apprising you of that as we go forward. I would like to also point your attention to the facilities report that's included in the information items tonight. There's a couple of things that you might find a little bit fun. We now have an AT&T cell tower on campus over by the baseball stadium, and the baseball stadium is lit for night games as a result of that agreement with AT&T. The Fox Field project is coming to conclusion, as you saw this evening. That project is funded out of strong workforce money, which are categorical monies that come down from the state for economic development. And some, we also used a refund that we got from the original Palmdale construction to augment that facility. I would encourage anybody, if you have time to drive out there and see what we put together out there, I think you'd be very proud of it. One of the few things left to do is to paint the back of the large hangar and put our logo on it. So we're looking to do that. The Technology Center at Palmdale is a partnership with the Air Force Research Lab and the California Aeronautic Institute. And we're also looking at further developing our partnership with Cal State Long Beach and our engineering programs and what we might be able to do over there. So we're moving along. The security building is nearing completion, and we hope to occupy that building in January with the Sheriff's Department. Sage Hall's got the skin on pretty much and is getting ready to go and be done. The black wall for the Discovery Lab has almost reached the point we can put the roof on. Marauder Complex, we're looking to occupy in January, and they have started marking the foundation footings and slab for the new student services building and the work that we're doing over for the new entrance to the college. And many of the solar panels have been successfully moved and reinstalled. So if you haven't, I urge everybody, if you haven't been on campus, it's worth a drive around. Bring a sack lunch and sit in the parking lot and look at some of the stuff. You know, they always say the guys are good for looking at construction projects, but we've got a lot going on here. And the good news is that while things change a little bit, we are on time and we are on budget with all the projects.
It's great news. Thank you. Okay, we will move on to board member comments, and we will start with our newest member, Mr. Zhu. The floor is
Hi.
yours.
I just want to say thank you and that I'm ready and happy to serve the students with all of you. I look forward to working closely with you guys to make sure the betterment of AVC. And I want to take this time to just thank everyone who voted for me and my supportive parents and girlfriend. So thank you.
Wonderful, and welcome aboard.
Okay, well, I want to start by welcoming Samuel. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Samuel a few years ago when he competed in an AXA oratory contest. Quite the speaker here, so hopefully we'll have the opportunity to hear him speak quite a bit. I also want to congratulate Noah, Bradley, and Caden on taking first, second, and third in the Constitution essay contest. I would love to have the opportunity to read those essays one day. So congratulations to the three of you. And even though we're a month early, I want to take this opportunity because to thank Mr. Lou Stoltz and Dr. Laura Herman for their servant leadership at Antelope Valley Community College. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure and an honor to serve with both of you. And thank you for everything. I know this past year, Laura, it's been, there were many nights we did not want to be in your seats. So you did an incredible job, and thank you.
Thank you.
My congratulations, Samuel, as well, and welcome to the board. And I look forward to working with you over the course of the next few months.
Thank you.
One thing that I forgot to mention last month in all the excitement was the Nobel Prize winner for literature, Louise Gluck, actually taught one of our professors here at the college, Charles Hood, who many of you know is a prolific poet, a prolific author, who has many books published, and the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, since I think at some point in time, he may actually win the Nobel Prize for literature. So congratulations to her and to Charles for his continued writing.
Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Buffa.
Welcome, Samuel. Glad to have you here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I can already tell you're going to be quite the speaker. So I'd like to thank Laura and Lou for their service.
Thanks.
And in the 20 plus years, however long I've been on this board, I have to be honest about it. This was the best group that I think we've ever had. Great job. Thank you. That's all.
Thanks. So this isn't the last time I'm here. I've got one more, you know, I'm just saying.
We're just pushing you.
I know, I'm feeling.
But you have to be here in December.
I will be here in December. And I will just say, I have been humbled and privileged to work with this group of people, to work in this organization, to be trying our very best to do what is best for our students and our school community. So thank you for the honor. I've appreciated the time. And with that, we will adjourn the meeting at 7:12. I will note that our next meeting is December 11th. That's by statute. We have to have our organizational meeting on December 11th. So that's when we're having it at 8 a.m. And this meeting is adjourned.